Great good morning, officers. I, Sumit Kumar Singh, welcome all of you in Magadh-Putra DREAM-IAS for free online preparation of UPSC civil services. My dear friends, today in this video we are going to see the short and sweet summary of National Education Policy 2020. My dear friends, we will see point-wise a summary. This is issued by the PIB, Public Information Bureau of Government of India. And in this video, we will see and highlight what the important points of the National Education Policy 2020. So let us start. So first of all, if you are the first time on my channel Magadh-Putra, then like it, share it and subscribe it for daily current affairs, point-wise summary and analysis related to topic related to UPSC civil services preparation. Now start. The Cabinet approves the National Education Policy 2020 and paving the way of transformational reforms in schools' higher education system in the country. Now move forward. The new policy aim. What is the aim of this policy? The aim for universalization of education from preschool to secondary level with 100% GER in the school education by 2030. So we have to remember it. The new policy aim for universalization of education from preschool to secondary level with 100% GER in school education by 2030. The NAP 2020 will bring 2 crores out of school children back to into the mainstream. 2 crore school children back into the mainstream. The new school curriculum is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 school curriculum with 12 years of schooling and 3 years of Anganwadi and preschool. Emphasis on foundational literacy. Numeracy, no rigid separation between academic streams, extracurricular, vocational STEM in schools, vocational education to start from class 6, width and interest. So these are the important points, and teaching up to the at least grade 5 to be in the mother tongue and regional language. So these are the important points related to the National Education Policy 2020. Another important point is assessment reform. With 360-degree holistic progress card, tracking student progress for achieving learning outcomes. The GER in higher education to be raised by to 50% by 2035 and 3.5 crore seats to be added in the higher education. In the higher education curriculum, to have a flexibility of subjects, multiple entry exit to be allowed with appropriation certification, academic bands of credit to be established to facilitate transfer of credits. Now, National Research Foundation to be established to foster a strong research culture. A light but tight regulation of higher education. Light but tight regulation of higher education. A single regulator with the 4 separate verticals for different functions. Affiliation system. Affiliation system to be phased out in 15th year with regarded autonomy in colleges. Now, in National Education Policy 2020 advocates increased use of technology. With Equity National Education Technology Forum to be created. NAP 2020 emphasizes setting up a gender inclusion funds, special economic zones for disadvantaged regions and groups. The new policy promotes multilingualism in both schools and higher education. National Institute for Pali, Persian and Prakritic, Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation to be set up. Now we will see the elaborate of all these important highlights. The Union Cabinet chaired by the PM Narendra Modi approved the National Education Policy 2020 today, making the way for large-scale transformational reforms in both school and higher education sectors. So this is the first education policy of the 21st century. Replaced the 34 years old national a Policy on Education (NPE) in 1986. Built on the foundational pillar of access, equity and quality, affordability and accountability, this policy is aligned to 2030 agenda for sustainable development and aim to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society and global knowledge superpower by making both school and college education more holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, suited 21st century needs, and aimed at bringing out the unique capabilities of each student. Now, we will see the important highlights. It is the school education. Ensuring universal access at all levels of school education. NEP 2020 emphasizes on ensuring universal access to school education at all levels. Schools to secondary, infrastructure support, innovative education centers to bring back dropouts into the mainstream, tracking of students and their learning levels to facilitate multiple pathways of learning involving both formal and non-formal education modes. Association of Counselor of well-trained social workers with school open learning from classes 3, 5 and 8. Open learning from classes 3, 5 and 8. NIOS and state open schools is a secondary education program equivalent to grade 10 interval vocational courses. Adult literacy and life enrichment programs are some of the proposed way to achieve this. About 2 crores of out-of-school children will be brought back into the mainstream under the National Education Policy 2020. Yearly education care and education with a new curricular and pedagogical structure. With emphasis on yearly education care and education, 10+2 structured school curricula is to be replaced by 5+3+3+4 curricular structure corresponding to the age of 3, 8, 8, 11, 11, 14 and 15, 18 years respectively. 5+3+3+4 curricular, and this will bring the hitherto uncovered age group 3 to 6 years under the school curriculum, which has been recognized globally as a crucial stage for development of the mental faculties of a child. The new system will have a 12 years of history with a 3 years of Anganwadis and preschool. NCERT will develop a national curricular and pedagogical framework for yearly childhood care and education (NCPFECCE) for children up to age of 8. ECCE will be delivered through a significantly expanded and strengthened system of institutions, including Anganwadis and the preschools, that will have the teachers and Anganwadis workers trained in the ECCE pedagogy and curricula. The planning and implementation of ECCE will be carried out jointly by the Ministries of HRD and Women and Child Development, WCD, Health and Family Welfare and Tribal Affairs. Now move forward. Attaining foundational literacy and numeracy. Recognizing foundational numeracy as an urgent and necessary prerequisite to learning, NEP 2020 called for setting up the National Mission on Foundational Literacy and Numeracy by MHRD. States will prepare an implementation plan for attaining universal foundational literacy and numeracy in the primary schools for all learners by grade 3 by 2025. A national promotion policy is to be formulated. Reforms in school curricula and pedagogy. The school curricula and pedagogy will aim for holistic development of learners by equipping them with the key 21st century skills, reduction in curricular content to enhance essential learning and critical thinking, and greater focus on the experimental learning. Students will have increased flexibility in choice of subjects. There will be no rigid separation between art and science. No rigid separation between art and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams. Vocational education will start in schools from the 6th grade. Vocational education will be start in schools from the 6th grade and will include interest. A new and comprehensive national curricular framework for school education (NCFSC 2020 to 2021) will be developed by the NCERT. Now, it's about the multilingualism and the power of language. The policy has emphasized mother tongue and local language, regional languages as the medium of instructions at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8 and beyond. Sanskrit to be offered at all level of the schools and higher education as an option for students, including the three language formula. Other classical languages and literatures of India also to be available as options. No language will be imposed on any students. Students to participate in the fun project activity, the language of India, sometime in grade 6 to 8, such as under the Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat initiative. Several foreign languages will also be offered at the secondary level. Indian Sign Language (ISL) will be standardized across the country, and the national and staff curriculum material developed for the use by students with hearing impairment. Now, move forward. Assessment reforms. NEP 2020 envisages a shift from summative assessment to regular and formative assessment, which is more competency-based, promote learning and development, and test higher order skills such as analysis, critical thinking, and conceptual clarity. All students will take the school examination grade 3, grade 5 and 8, which will be conducted by the appropriate authority. Board exam for grade 10 and 12 will be continued, but redesigned with holistic development as a new National Assessment Center PARAKH, Performance Assessment Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development will be set as a standard setting. Equitable and inclusive education. NEP 2020 aims to ensure no child lost any opportunity to learn and excel because of the circumstances of birth or the background. Special emphasis will be given in the social and economically disadvantaged group, which include gender and social culture, geographical and identities and disabilities. This includes the Gender Inclusion Fund and special education zones for disadvantaged regions and groups. Children with disabilities will be enabled to fully participate in the regular schooling process from the foundational stage to higher education with the support of educators with across disability training, resources center, accommodation, assistive device, appropriate technology, West 2 and other support mechanism tailored to suit their needs. Every state district will be encouraged to establish Bal Bhavans at special daytime boarding schools to participate in art-related, career-related and play-related activities. Free school infrastructure can be used as a Samajik Chetna Kendras. Robust teacher recruitment and career path. Teacher will be recruited through robust, transparent process. Promotion will be merit-based with a mechanism multi-source create performance appraisal and available progression path to become educational administrators or a teacher educator. A common national professional standard for teacher (NPST) will be developed as a National Council for Teacher Education by 2020. In consultations with the NCERT, SCERT, a teacher and expert organization from SS levels and our regions. School governance. Schools can be organized into complexes or clusters, which will be the basic unit of governance and ensure availability of all resources, including infrastructure, academic libraries, and strong professional teachers community. Standard setting and accreditations for school education. NEP 2020 envisages a clear separate system for policy making, regulation, operations, and academic matters. State and UT will be as an independent state school standard authority (SSSA), and transparent public self-disclosure of all basic regulatory information as laid down by SSA will be used extensively for the public oversight and accountability. The SCERT will develop a school quality assessment and accreditations framework (SQAAF) through the consultations with all stakeholders. Higher education. increase GER to 50% by the 2035. NEP 2020 aim to increase the gross enrollment ratio in the higher education, including vocational education, from 26.3% in 2018 to 50% by the 2035. 3.5 crore new seats will be added to higher education institutions. Holistic multidisciplinary education. The policy envisages board-based multidisciplinary holistic undergraduate education with flexible curricular, creative combination of subject, integration of vocational education, multiple entry and exit points with appropriate certifications. UG education to be a 3 to 4 year with multiple exit options and appropriate certification within this period. For example, certificate within the 1 year, advanced certificate after 1 year, advanced diploma after 2 years, bachelor degree after 3 years, and bachelor degree with research after 4 years. And academic banks of credit is to be established for digitally storing academic credits earned from different HEI so that these can be transferred and counted toward the final degree earned. Multidisciplinary education and research universities as par with the IITs, IIMs to be set up as models of the best multidisciplinary education of the global standard in the country. The National Research Foundation will be created as an apex body for fostering a strong research culture and building research capacity across higher education. Now, what about the regulation? The Higher Education Commissions of India will be set up as a single overarching umbrella body for the entire higher education, excluding medical and legal education. HECI to have the 4 independent verticals: the National Higher Education Regulatory Council (NHERC) for regulation, General Education Council (GEC) for standard setting, and Higher Education Grant Council (HEGC) for funding, and National Accreditations Council for NAC for accreditations. HECI will function through the faceless interventions through technology and will have a power to penalize HEI not confronting to norm and standards. Public and private higher education institutions will be governed by the same set of norms for regulations, accreditations, and academic standards. Now move forward. Rationalized institutional architecture. Higher education institutions will be transformed into a large-scale resource. Hybrid multidisciplinary institutions providing high-quality teaching, research, and community engagement. The definition of the university will allow a spectrum of institutions that range from research-intensive universities to teaching-incentive universities, autonomous degree-granting colleges. Affiliation of colleges is to be phased out of the 15 years, and a stage-wise mechanism is to be established for granting graded autonomy to the college. Over a period of time, it is envisaged that every college would develop into either an autonomous degree-granting college or a constituent college of university. Motivated, energized, and capable faculty. NEP makes recommendation for motivating, energized, and building capacity of a faculty to clearly define independent, transparent recruitment, freedom to design curricula and pedagogy, incentivizing excellence, movement, and institutional leadership. Faculty not delivering on the best norm will be held accountable. Teacher education. A new and comprehensive national curriculum framework for teacher education NCFT 2021 will be formulated by the NCTE in consultations with NCERT by 2030. The minimum degree qualification for the teaching will be a 4-year integrated BA degree. Stringent actions will be taken against the standard alone teachers educational institutions. Mentoring missions. Our national mission for mentoring will be established with a large pool of outstanding senior and retired faculty, including those with the ability to teach in Indian languages, who would be willing to provide short and long-term mentoring professional support to university college teachers. Financial support for students. Effort will be made to incentivize the merit of a student belonging to SC, ST, OBC, and other SEDGs The National Scholarship Portal will be expanded to support, foster, and track the progress of students receiving a scholarship. Private HEIs will be encouraged to offer large number of free seats and scholarships to the students. Open and distance learning. This will be expanded to play a significant role in increasing GDR measures such as online courses, and digital repositories. For research, improved student services credit-based recognitions and will be taken to ensure it as a path with the highest quality in class program. Online education and digital education, a comprehensive set of recommendations for promoting online education consequent to the recent rise in the epidemics and pandemics in order to ensure preparedness with alternative modes of quality education. Whenever traditional and person modes of education are not possible, has been covered a dedicated unit for the purpose of overstretching the building of the digital infrastructure. Digital content and capacity building will be created in the MHRD to look after the e-education need of the both school and higher education. Teaching in education, an autonomous body, the National Technology in Education, an autonomous body, the National Education Technology Forum, NETF, will be created to provide a platform for the free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, and administrations. Appropriate integration of the technology into all levels of education will be done to improve classroom processes, support teachers' professional development, enhance education, assess for disadvantaged group, and streamline educational planning, administration, and management. Promotion of Indian language. To ensure the preservation, growth, and vibrancy of all Indian language, NEP recommends setting an Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretations (IITI), National Institute of or Institute for Pali, Persian, and Prakritic, strengthening Sanskrit and all language department of HEI, and use of mother tongue and local languages as a medium of instructions in more HEI programs. Internationalizations of education will be facilitated through the both institutional collaboration and students and the faculty mobility, and allowing entry of the top world ranked universities to open campuses in our country. Professional education. All professional education will be an integral part of the higher education system. Standalone technical universities, health science universities, legal and agricultural universities, etc. will aim to become a multidisciplinary institutions. Adult education policy aim to achieve 100% youth and adult literacy. Financing education. The center and the state will work together. Central and state work together to increase the public investment in education sector to reach the 6% of the GDP at the earliest. Unprecedented consultations. NEP 2020 has been formulated after the unprecedented process of consultations that involved nearly 2 lakh suggestions from 2.5 lakh gram panchayats, 6,600 blocks, 6,000 ULB, and 676 districts. The MHRD initiated an unprecedented collaborative inclusion and higher participating consultation process from January 2015. In May 2016, a committee for evaluation of the new education policy under the chairman of the late Sri T.S.R. Subramaniam, the former cabinet secretary, submitted its report. Based on this, ministry prepared some inputs for the draft National Education Policy 2016. In June 2017, committee for a draft National Education Policy was constituted under the chairmanship of eminent scientist Padma Vibhushan Dr. K. Kasturirangan, which submitted a draft National Education Policy 2019 to Honorable Human Resource Development Minister 31st May 2019. The draft National Education Policy 2019 was uploaded on MHRD website and MyGov Innovate portal eliciting huge suggestions, comments of stakeholders, including public. So these are the important points I summarize in front of you by highlighting the major points and important points related to the National Education Policy 2020. This is recently approved by the cabinets. So if you are the first time on my channel, then like it, share it and subscribe it for daily current affair point-wise summary and important news analysis related to UPSC civil services preparation. Thank you. Have a great day.